This is the cold start video for the 2007 Audi RS4 B7. I'd like to start her up, please. And if you'd like to increase the revs up to about 1,000, please. A little bit more. And if you'd like to give her a couple of blips, please. One more. So just going for a spin in James's 2007 Audi RS4, that's the B7 model. And yeah, James was just explaining to me that the car's got quite a few special features in there, including the steering wheel. So do you want to tell me a little bit more about the steering wheel?
Yes, it's got the flat-bottomed sort of aluminium style trim steering wheel, which I think was sort of shared with the Audi, the Lamborghini at the time.
Yeah.
Which is quite a nice little feature. Obviously all sort of carbon dash trim as well, which I know not all models have. And obviously the Recaro bucket seats, which I know are quite desirable. And they've been refurbished as well.
Perfect. And yeah, so we're just waiting up the traffic lights. In terms of engine temperature and oil pressure, have you experienced any issues at all?
No, nothing. I mean, you'll find that in the summer it gets up to about, you know, when it's really running nice and warm, 105 degrees or so oil temperature, and then you'll see it probably nearer 100 in the winter.
Yeah.
It's a big old lump, obviously, being a V8, so it takes a while to get hot. So I tend to, you know, drive it quite gently until it's really up to temperature. So you can see at the moment it'll say max 7,000 RPM on the dash, and then once it gets warmed up, it gives you an oil temperature, and I tend to really not open it up until it gets above sort of 80 degrees.
Perfect. So in terms of the steering, have you experienced any wobbles or any sort of play or anything, unwanted noises or anything at all?
No, it drives really nicely. There's no noises or no knocking or anything like that. One of the reasons I bought this car in the first place is because it's already on KW coilovers. Okay. So it is, whilst it is a touch firmer than maybe the standard car, it hasn't got the sort of fairly problematic Audi DRC system, which I know a lot of people change out because it is very problematic and it gets quite costly in the end.
And talking suspension as well, I mean, obviously it's quite, you know, as you would expect it to be firm, but there's no rattles, there's no knocks, there's no negative feedback. I couldn't hear any squishing or any
even like if you go over little lumps and stuff, it's, you know, as you said, it's firm, but there's no noise, there's no rattles, no creaks.
It's yeah, I mean, for a car of this age, it's you know, it's pretty solid inside. I can't hear any unwanted sort of rattles or taps or anything like that at all. And obviously we've got a manual gearbox, a 6-speed gearbox. Any sort of, how would you describe its gear change?
Oh, it's lovely. Like the it's quite short throw, but it's really easy to drive. Yeah. Even when the wife gets in the car, she, you know, when you're driving it nice and sedately, it just feels like a really nice, easy car to drive. And
are you happy with the performance of the clutch?
Yeah, it's nice and light, but not too light. It's got some feel in it. I'm quite surprised. My wife's got a John Cooper Works that she drives, and I find the clutch quite low and heavy in that compared to this.
Okay. Yeah.
Getting back in this is quite enjoyable, actually.
I can imagine. Yeah. And in terms of the brakes, we've got some pretty impressive brakes on this car. Are you happy with their performance?
Yeah, the carbon ceramics are great. I mean, you know, you hope too often that you don't have to use them in anger, but it's nice to know that you've got that stopping power if you need it. So yeah, nice
functions. I didn't get a chance to play with everything, but would you say that everything works?
Yeah, that's right. So you can change, obviously, the menus that you're looking at on here by pressing the set button.
Yeah.
And then also on the steering wheel, you've got the S button here, which is like a sport mode button. And what that does in this particular car is change the throttle response a bit. So the car's had an MRC stage 2 tune, which sort of activates that, opens up the valves on the exhaust and changes the throttle response. So it turns into quite a different animal when that button's pressed.
Perfect. Just allows the engine to breathe a little sort of freer, really, doesn't it? And do we have air conditioning on the car?
Yeah,
we do.
That on now.
Perfect. So that works as well. That's good.
Down nice and low for a bit, because it's quite warm.
Yeah, it's icy cold, which is perfect. And we've got the Navigation Plus system. Do you use that at all?
Very rarely, because as you can imagine, it's quite dated now, but it works. When I show you, it's very rare that I use it. What with Google Maps and everything on the phone now,